Trickle-down economics is defined as the theory that tax breaks and benefits for corporations and the wealthy will trickle down to everyone else. It argues for income and capital gains, tax breaks, or other financial benefits to large businesses, investors, and entrepreneurs to stimulate economic growth. Ideally, what is supposed to happen is that the low and middle classes are supposed to also benefit from corporate tax cuts and breaks for the super rich by a higher economic output. The truth is, though, that trickle-down economics doesn't work. There's a few reasons why it doesn't work. Partly, it doesn't work because those wealthy individuals who are getting those tax breaks are either saving their money or investing it. When wealthier people get more money, they do not necessarily have much incentive to spend because they already have their needs met. If less wealthy individuals get more money, they are far more likely to spend, especially if they've been making do with a bad or outdated appliance, electronic device, or need that thing on their car repaired or basic maintenance. When you give money to the low and middle class, they are more likely to spend, which in turn increases why trickle-down economics doesn't work is because by cutting corporate taxes, less money is being paid in federal taxes. This will deprive the federal government of the revenue it will need in coming years. If corporate taxes are cut, you will have to pay more in taxes to make up the difference. This results in raising taxes for the middle and lower class, further widening the gap between the richest and wealthiest individuals and the middle and lower class. If corporation taxes were cut, they would not use the extra money to make new investments in equipment, research and development, or jobs. They would use their already vast stockpiles of cash to buy back shares and thereby boost stock prices. They would use the money for extravagant bonuses and salaries for the CEOs and other top executives, widening the gap even further. According to an article published on Citizen.org, over the past 10 years, just 25 ultra-rich individuals have poured $1.4 billion into super political action committees. Corporations have spent at least $500 million to influence elections and donors in a small number of majority white zip codes, exerting a massively oversized influence on our political system. The super rich will continue to become richer, in part due to the lobbyists protecting the interests of corporations, the revolving door of public officials and servants turned lobbyists, and deregulation and reduction of government power in large industry. What is a lobbyist? A lobbyist is defined as a person who takes part in an organized attempt to influence legislators. While many lobbyists do incredible work and fight for important causes to protect the American people, some are paid huge sums of money by corporations to not only protect their personal and financial, but to sway legislators to give corporations tax breaks and other benefits. This means that corporations can spend endless amounts of money to pay major Washington influencers to persuade legislation. The inequality gap between the wealthy and the poor is widening at an accelerated rate. Since the 1970s, the hourly pay for the vast majority of U.S. workers has lagged far behind the growth of productivity as a result of rising inequality. Over the past 30 years, the U.S. economy has been growing. However, the top 20% of people have 14 times the wealth of the rest of the bottom 80%. This is the largest inequality on record. The cost of living has continued to steadily rise along with the growing economy, but wages have remained stagnant. It's up to us to do something about it. Please sign the MoveOn.org petition by Robert Reich to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour. I know to some it may seem like a lot, but it's not. It's reasonable and fair, and it's what America deserves. If the minimum wage that America had in 1968 were adjusted for inflation and productivity gains we have achieved since then, minimum wage would be at least $15 per hour. The problem is that so many people think that they don't deserve to make that much because of what we've been told so long by big corporations and by the media. $7.25 an hour is not enough to live. It's not a living wage, and we've been told that if we work harder and gain more education, that we'll make more money. But the bottom line is that by not raising the minimum wage, as this country progresses, it forces all the lower and middle class to make less than what they deserve. I'll include a link below to sign the petition. Your voice matters. Make it heard.